Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Mallory Erickson. I am an executive coach and fundraising consultant and the creator of the Power Partners formula. And if you are here today, it is because you want to learn a little bit about my journey into coaching and why I believe so deeply that executive coaching principles can fundamentally change the fundraising landscape, the nonprofit landscape. So I'll say that, first of all, I always say that every good coach, in my opinion, has a coach, right? So what is a coach, right? A coach is somebody who helps you gain the clarity that you need to achieve your goals, to figure out what it even is that you want to do, set those goals, and really realize your full potential personally, professionally. Often those things are really deeply intertwined. And the way in which they're able to do this, or the reason that they're able to do this, is because they have been deeply trained to help guide people through personal discovery processes that help answer the questions that they feel like might be unanswerable, right? And so my very first experience with coaching, I think I was 22, maybe. It was in my first professional work environment. And I just want to say that somebody I recently told that to, and they said, oh my gosh, that was a long time ago. People used to think that coaching was only related to performance issues. And I hope this is a stigma that we're really done with now, because really the best executives in the world, the best leaders in the world, they all have coaches because we all have blind spots. So I was gifted this coach by the organization that I worked for. I had 10 sessions with her. And what we really focused on were what were my personal and professional goals for my life. She helped me understand, why did some work days feel bad and other work days felt really good? What was happening in those work days that was making me feel like I was in alignment? She helped me identify my values and why, when I lived in accordance with my values, things felt fundamentally different than when I actually pushed my values aside in order to people please or be a perfectionist, right? All the things that we have been sort of trained by society to do in order to get approval or to be liked or to be loved, right? And so a coach is deeply trained in helping you identify what it is deep inside you that you want to do and how to create a step-by-step process to get there. I have used coaches throughout my entire life, and it was actually through the process of becoming a certified executive coach that completely transformed the way that I showed up as a fundraiser, and ultimately what has led me here today with all of you. So I was fundraising. I became an accidental fundraiser. I joke about it a lot, because I started to get promoted up through the ranks in the nonprofit world, found myself in a managing director role that came with big fundraising responsibilities. And I hated it. I really, really hated it. And even when I was an executive director, if you had asked me what my least favorite part of being an executive director was, I would have without a doubt said fundraising. And so the thing that executive coaching did for me was it really helped me start to understand the way that my thoughts and my beliefs inform how I feel and ultimately how I show up, right? So that is really an underlying principle of a lot of coaches, a lot of coaching programs, is that every time we feel something, it's coming from our mind, right? Experiences, things in the world, they just are what they are. But it's the way that we interpret them, the way that we process them, and the meaning that we derive from them that creates the significance, right? That's what creates the significance for us. And when I went through the process of becoming certified, and I really dove deep into that loop in order to be able to support clients and the organizations I served, I was able to identify a ton of limiting beliefs, thought processes that I had never considered before having an impact on my fundraising. Like, for example, how I spent money. In 13 years as a fundraiser, no one had ever asked me to look at my own beliefs about money and about how money should move, right? There I was pinching every single penny and then also hoping to be a tremendous fundraiser. But those beliefs are the same belief, right? The challenge, the discomfort I was feeling as a fundraiser was deeply linked to the discomfort that I was feeling spending money, right? So one of the incredible benefits of having a coach, like every coach I've had throughout my life, is that they provide a mirror that helps us see ourselves in a way we've never been able to see before. And sometimes that can be scary to do, right? To say, what really is coming up for me as a big barrier to fundraising? Because it's much easier to say, well, my board won't make introductions, or the program people won't give me the metrics and data that I need, or my CRM system isn't what I want it to be, or this thing, right? As fundraisers, and I'll just speak for myself as a fundraiser, I pointed the finger everywhere else. But what coaching required me to do was actually look inside and say, well, what barriers am I creating? What beliefs and thoughts are actually holding me back from action that has nothing to do with my data and nothing to do with my CRM system, but has to do with my own discomfort talking about money, inviting people to participate in my organization because it's stirring up a lot of feelings about self-worth or imposter syndrome or deserving X, Y, or Z. And those beliefs, if you have them, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh man, I know that's some of what's going on inside me too, that's okay, right? That is okay. And it is totally normal. I think 95% of fundraisers, if not more, have those same experiences, whether they've tapped into them or not. And this is a part of why executive coaching is such a fundamental underlying principle of all of the work that I do, that I don't really believe that to just do strategy without executive coaching is going to be that effective, right? It's going to give you a Band-Aid on an underlying problem. Everything that I do in my work rolls back to this. If you want to learn more about some of the principles inside my different programs, you can go to my free webinar where I talk about the Power Partners formula. And I talk a lot more there about the cognitive behavior loop and the way that this has really led to some fundamental limiting beliefs in our sector, right? Around why warm introductions are so much better than cold introductions. No, limiting belief, right? That it takes such a long time to cultivate a big gift. Also a limiting belief, right? And that really that fundraising always needs to feel like this awkward car salesman thing. No, also a limiting belief, right? So all of these things that I discovered through my own process in executive coaching, I want to bring to you through this free training so that you can start showing up as a fundraiser authentically and more engaged and inspired by your work every day, because we need you. We need you to move money into the sector. We need you to move money towards the causes that are ultimately going to change this world. And so I want you to know how proud you should be of the work that you do. So click below, come join me for that free webinar, and I'd love to share more about how the Power Partners formula helps you transform some of these underlying thoughts and beliefs to make a difference in how you fundraise today.